Arguments from analogy are tricky. When we say the two things are analogous, we don't mean that they're exactly the same. We're saying that they're similar in some relevant respect. They may be quite different in other respects. What an argument from analogy does is to suggest that because they're similar in one way, they're also similar in some other way. So for example, in abortion arguments, people will sometimes point to similarities between the fetus and a child to suggest that the fetus has a right to life. Other people point to dissimilarities to rebut that conclusion. Now, it's important that the similarities and dissimilarities are relevant to the intended conclusion. Someone could point out that the fetus has a full genetic code, but so does my appendix, and that doesn't have a right to life. In order to have a successful argument from analogy, you need not just similarities, but relevant similarities. Now, one way an analogy can go wrong is by suggesting a false equivalence. Usually this happens when people imply that two things are morally on par when they're not. For example, after the Charlottesville white supremacy rallies, the president notoriously gave a speech where he condemned violence on many sides, suggesting that the counter-protesters' actions were analogous to the protesters. But one side advocated for racial supremacy, the other didn't. Also, one side engaged in homicide, the other didn't. There's something deeply problematic about putting these on equal moral footing. A similar problem can arise when people call for argumentative balance. Yes, it's good to look at different sides of an issue, but not all evidence is created equal. In ethics class, I don't spend time on questions like, should women have the vote? Is slavery morally acceptable? Doing so suggests a false equivalence between the different positions on those questions and also between those questions and other topics. It also wastes precious time, and there are limited hours in the day. Now, don't get me wrong. I respect and even encourage attempts to see things from different points of view. Sometimes it's hard to know when enough is enough, and some people really are too quick to shut down debate. On the other hand, don't make the opposite mistake of treating all perspectives as equally good or equally worthy of our ongoing attention. I'm John Corvino, and this is Better Argument.